Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us. Bahre, how is Emad doing? How's your husband?
He's doing okay. He's doing as well as he can be after being away from us for 4 years and being in Evian prison for as long as he has been. He will never say otherwise, so he's okay.
You still are able to speak with him by phone?
When he's able to call, yes, we are able to hear his voice if there's a good line, and if there isn't, it's a lot of mumbling, but yes, we do hear from him.
And how is his health?
His health, it's hard to say really, Margaret, because he doesn't really say anything to worry us. For example, we found out after he had COVID that he had COVID for 10 days and he was bedridden and he didn't have the right medical care or anything. And I mean, that was really, really concerning. Yeah, he says, I don't know what to say, how well he is. Yeah.
Hannah, what has changed since we last spoke? What has happened in your life over the past year, and how much contact have you had with your dad?
I suppose not much has changed in the way that he's still not home, so that's the biggest change we'd like to see, and that has not happened, obviously. We've spoken here and there, which has been really nice because, I mean, I just turned 24, so that was nice to be able to speak to him near my birthday because I haven't been able to speak to him on my birthdays in the past, so that was nice. Other than that, we're really just waiting. The year has passed by slowly because every day almost feels like an eternity without him here. So you try to take it day by day and hope that the next day something positive will happen.
How are you doing as a family and personally?
We're okay. At times it's hard to kind of keep it together. It's been many years now that we've been dealing with this, so sometimes it's hard to put on a positive attitude and be brave, and everyone says, oh, you're so strong, but I don't really want to be strong much longer. It's been a long time, so we're keeping it together, but it's not easy at times for sure.
No, it can't be easy for any of you. And I remember you sharing with us all the things that you had gone through in life with your father so far away and still behind bars. How are you dealing with this?
I think my sister said it perfectly. It's definitely hard to be without the person who's like really the support of your family. Like he's really the rock that has always kept us together. And I feel like we're just kind of like floating as well as we can until he gets back and can like reconnect us all. I am very proud and grateful to my mother and sister because they have been extremely strong. But like my sister said, like I think we're all tired of being strong. Like we just want my dad back, and we just want like our normal family back together, and to be able to have dinner around the table every night like we used to, and to have him share all the big and small moments in our lives. Like I'll hear a song that reminds me of him and I want to tell him and I can't, or I'll read a book that I think he would really like and we can't discuss it together, or just like our cat will do something funny, and you want to send him a video or to show him and you can't do that. So in addition to all the birthdays and the graduations and anniversaries, it's like all the tiny little things in life that we don't have right now, and we haven't had for 4 years.
When we spoke a little over a year ago, you all were hopeful that something was going to change, but nothing has come of that hope.
No, unfortunately not. I mean, but we've come so close so many times, and we were hoping that the Vienna talks would bring everything kind of together in the sense that the two countries would decide on something to do with each other, and that would definitely have to do with the release of Emad and the other hostages in Iran. But unfortunately, that's been pushed back day by day, week by week, and now there's this pause, but a very, 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 very long pause.
Mm-hmm. And that pause is officially about the nuclear agreement between Iran and the United States and the other world powers. So is your understanding that when that diplomatic deal is stalled, that it also stops the negotiations for Emad and the other hostages?
So our understanding of what's happening with the nuclear talks is the same as anyone else reading the news, but I suppose our hope has been and would be that the two would not so closely coincide and that the hostages can be released whether that deal is signed or not, because it really is a human rights issue, like a humanitarian issue, and not a political issue at the end of the day. And we really hope that the administration puts patriotism over politics and brings these Americans home where they deserve to be.
Mm-hmm. I read a letter that a number of the families signed, along with you, that made that point, that you hope that politics isn't a factor here. Mm-hmm. That means you fear it is, Bahre.
It's hard to really say otherwise, but we keep hoping that, our president and the administration look at us as human beings, as individuals, Emad as a father, daughters, and really feeling what a human being is going through, and that they would do their best and use all the tools they have to bring Emad home. Just like we saw a few weeks ago that, the president made the brave move and brought Trevor Reed home. So this is something that can be done. We just saw it, and this gave us immense hope. So we're hopeful that such a decision will be made.
You signed on to a letter directly to President Biden. Did President Biden write you back, reach out to you in any way?
No, not at all.
Did you get any response to the White House, from the White House?
We just got a response that the White House, not even the White House has received our letter.
But no detail?
No detail. And really what we would like is to sit in front of the president and tell our story and beg him, because he is the only one that can make the decision to bring Emad and the other hostages home.
Have you asked for a meeting with President Biden? He's met with other hostage families.
We have numerous times. We have through others, and just 10 days ago we sent a letter directly to the president asking him to meet with us.
Have you met with the Secretary of State?
We have not, no.
Do you know why?
I'm sure, these are very, very busy people. Probably the busiest people, men in the country. I understand that, but I don't know why they've met with other hostage families and not our family. I don't know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think that a personal appeal would make the difference here? Do you think that it comes down to, there is a deal set to go and it's just a matter of saying yes or no?
I think from what we know about President Biden, he is a person who values the individual and values the power of family, and knows what it feels like to have your family unfairly taken from you. And I think if he would speak to us and could see that we're just like any other family, and our dad is an innocent man being held against his will, and how tiring this is for us and how unfair it all seems that this great dad and husband and person has been locked away for 4 years for absolutely no reason other than the fact that he's an American, which is the case for over 55 other Americans around the world. But it's very unfair. And I think that us telling him our story directly might help him to see us on a more individual level.
With the issue of Iran, it's so complicated. It's one of those really tough diplomatic challenges for the administration. Do you get the sense that they're afraid to meet with you because it would somehow show to Iran that your family or other hostage families are something that they can use against the United States?
I don't think so. I think they already are being used. Our dad is being used as a pawn. I think that's very clear. So I don't think that's the reason why they wouldn't meet with us. As my mom said, incredibly busy people, incredibly busy administration. We really just do hope that they take the time to meet, because it can make a difference. And they're the ones that, in the end, can bring our father home. And as you said, it is such a difficult political issue, and it's such a complicated relationship between Iran and America. But it's also a complicated relationship between Russia and America. And thank God Trevor's home, and thanks to President Biden, he's home. So clearly it can happen, although these are really complicated political issues. But again, we'd hope that this wouldn't be seen as a political issue and more of a humanitarian issue. And that should really be a priority of the administration, to bring innocent Americans home.
Mm-hmm. We're going into an election season. Everything becomes very charged. Do you get the sense that there is apprehension about that? When you mention in your letter politics, is that what you have in mind, that there would be criticism of President Biden for striking any deal or any kind of prisoner swap with Iran?
We've actually found, surprisingly, that we've gotten support from both sides, from both parties, because it really is a bipartisan issue. This is an issue of patriotism, and it's not an issue of politics. And I think that the support that we've received from both parties really does show that, because people understand that this is a matter of individual innocent Americans, and it's not this huge political issue. It is, but within that there are these individual people who need help and need to get out, and I think everyone understands that, which has been such a blessing to see.
Mm-hmm. Could I also say, with the elections coming up, with the midterms, I think it would be seen as a huge win to the administration to bring home an American. I think that's a great story, and why wouldn't a president want to say, I brought that person home, that was because of me, like he did with Trevor. That's an amazing thing to say, and I think any American, no matter what party they are a part of, would feel proud to be an American in that moment, knowing that someone came home.
Mm-hmm. If you were able to meet with President Biden, what would you say? And I'd like to hear from all of you on that. I know who wants to start.
Go ahead. Okay. Mm-hmm. I would first off say thank you for everything he has done. And I would say that it's been an incredibly challenging 4 years for us, and our dad is the most wonderful person in the world. I honestly think that President Biden and him would probably get along quite well, and I would say please just do anything in your power, anything you could do. Just think of us around the table every night without our dad, think of us missing him, and really just do everything in your power to bring our dad home. Every day makes a difference. It can't be another week, and it can't be another month. It has to be today. So yes, just anything.
And I think, of course, I would say to President Biden that he really knows what it is to have lost. Thankfully, Emad is not lost, but he is lost in a way. And President Biden knows what it is to be alone at times. And there are times that I would tell him, I feel like I've been keeping the ceiling to our home with my hands up, with my heart, but I can no longer do it alone. And I would just beg him to bring Emad home any way he can.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I hate crying. I think they said it all. I think we would tell him about our dad, and what a great guy he is, and how he would make us PB&J every morning until we were in high school with tea, and how he would wake us up in the morning by putting on classical music or classical rock, and how we would just like sit around and laugh with him, sometimes at our mother's expense. And he's just like the funniest, kindest, best person I know. And I feel like everyone would say that about their loved one, but I truly believe that he is one of the few genuinely good people out there. And just like, I feel like with these stories about our dad and how much we've missed out on because he's been taken, I just want him to know kind of what we've lost, and how important it is to us that he comes home.
Thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
And Anna, I want to make sure you have a letter from your dad. Is there something you wanted to share with us?
So this is a letter my dad wrote me when he was released from prison for the first time, and then he was on travel ban and then got taken back to prison, obviously. But this is a letter he wrote me soon after he came out. He said, "Hannah, my dear, over the past 8 months, there was always one thought that comforted me, and that was knowing that you would be there for your sister and your mom. I can't tell you how proud I am of what you've achieved and worked so hard to become. A strong and independent young woman. I feel blessed that I can once more be able to write to you and hopefully be able to see you soon. Love you very much, Bubba." And obviously, I have not seen him, but I do cherish this.
Thank you for sharing this with us.